Welcome, Thrivers, to season 6 of Women Thriving in Business podcast. I'm your host, Nikki Rogers, and I am so excited to talk to you about what's been going on since finishing up season 5, as well as what is to come for season 6. So between season 5 and now, I actually took some time to do some really deep thinking about my business and my brand. And I really highly recommend that if you are an entrepreneur, if you're thinking about entrepreneurship, is that you sit down and take some time and schedule regular time to do some deep thinking about what is going on within your business. And for me, this helped me get clarity on my mission, my vision, and some key next steps for my business. And during this time, I actually had the opportunity to engage with a new community of like minded entrepreneurs. I was able to get started with a new coach, and along with that new coach came a new community. And these are a group of women who are doing big things. They are focusing on scaling their businesses, and it's called Big Money Movement, but really making big money moves in order to move their business and their lives forward. And so, in engaging with that community, is really taking the time to get to know the women who are in the community, as well as just participate in all the different activities and events that are available to us. And that has really been great for me, again, thinking about my business and being strategic about best next steps. I also took that time to re-engage with some old connections and some old friends. I took the time to start scheduling lunches to the extent that people were available, as well as virtual meetups, just to touch base with folks that I hadn't seen in a while. So learn about what they had going on, share what was going on with me, and figure out how we could actually help each other move forward. So that was a really great way to reconnect with some folks that I hadn't seen in a while. A lot of life events had happened. And so it was just great to catch up, reconnect, and reestablish those bonds so that we can, mutually move forward together. So that was another great outcome of taking this time to kind of step back and do some deep thinking. It also helped me transition how I am talking about my business, how I'm talking about my entrepreneurial journey, as I am getting very clear about what the future holds and what the future looks like and kind of what I'm going toward. That helps me really message that to others. And so as you think about talking about your business, the more clarity you have, the more clarity others have so that they know how to refer people to you. They know what you do. So when they introduce you to someone, they can clearly articulate what it is you do, what it is that you're seeking in this world, what is the impact that you want to have in the world, which is actually really more important than what you do or what your business does. But it is a way of making sure that you are representing yourself really clearly out in the world, and that those around you, those in your network, can also represent you well as well. And so out of that time and in making these new connections, making some reconnections, and then also kind of transitioning the way I'm thinking about my business, that also helped me get focused on what I want to study and what I want to engage in. And by study, I mean, I read a lot of books, I read a lot of articles, I follow people, I listen to TED Talks, I listen to podcasts. And because I am naturally curious and a lifelong student, it is very easy for me to get distracted, and distracted in a good way. I mean, I love learning. So it's very easy for me to continue to just take in knowledge for knowledge's sake. But again, as I was getting clarity around where I'm going and where I'm going, where I want the business to go, this helped me really hone in on the knowledge that I should be taking in that will help me move forward. And so, really helping me decide what books to read, what podcasts to listen to, what articles to read, what magazines to pick up. As I'm getting more clear, I can actually start to focus in on the things that are going to be most important. And now that doesn't mean I don't pick up things that are just fun or just of interest, but I know that I need to be spending the majority of my time on these particular topics of interest, these particular areas, because that's what's going to help me achieve the goals that I've stated for myself and my business. So that was very, very helpful. And so out of that time of reconnecting, focusing, those types of things, there were three lessons that came out of that I just want to share with you on today's episode. So, one, I highly recommend that everyone take some time to examine and recalibrate your why for your business, your why for your entrepreneurial journey, your why for your life in general. And think about when you started out, and particularly as you started out in business, is the why that you had then the same why now? Is it the same or has it changed? And it's okay if it's changed, just be honest about that. And then the second part of that is look at your day to day activities. And are those day to day activities aligned with your why? So think about your why, re examine it, look and see if your day to day activities are aligned with that why. Second tip is that I recommend that you experiment, experiment, and experiment again. Take a risk, try something new, test the hypothesis, or just take a different approach. And if you think that about maybe the way that you have been going after seeking clients, and maybe that's not yielding the results that you wanted, think about how you can take a step back and take a different approach in order to attract new clients. Try it. And as you're trying those new things, document and then adjust as needed until you get the results that you actually need. And so for me, that means taking or experimenting with taking the podcast to YouTube. So you'll see the season, in addition to being able to listen to the podcast, you can actually watch the podcast on YouTube. So there is a new YouTube channel for Women Thriving. And so you can check out the kind of the video for my conversations with my guests. So that is my experiment that I am taking on for season 7. And we'll see what happens. We'll document and we'll adjust as needed to get the results that I want. And the results here are just, having a broader audience for the podcast, reaching more people with the information that is being shared and with the great guests that I have on the podcast. I think they definitely are providing information and insights that more people need to hear. So this is an experiment to see if we get additional listeners, additional viewers by putting the podcast on YouTube. So that is my experiment. And then number 3 is that you have to take care of your mental and physical health. Make those preventative care appointments, whether it be your annual physical, your mammogram, your gynecological exams, whatever it is that you need in order to make sure that you're still healthy or be able to identify and address issues early before they become real problems that take a lot of effort and energy to address. If you need to go to a specialist, make those appointments and actually keep those appointments. So take care of your physical health from the healthcare standpoint. And it might not be always a medical doctor. There are folks who engage with complementary care practitioners, whoever it may be, but take care of those things that you can prevent before they become issues. Seek support for your mental health, whether it be from a therapist, a supportive friend, a peer group, someone who can understand what you're going through and what's going on with you, because they've either been there before or they're professionals and they're trained to help folks deal with this. And then engage in some physical activity on a daily basis to the extent that you're able. If you're not a runner, then go take a walk. If you're not walking, then lift weights, or you can stretch, or maybe do yoga or Pilates at home, but just do some physical activity. And I'm reminded of when I was a teenager, I actually led a chair calisthenics, I guess if you can call it calisthenics if you're in a chair, but a chair exercise class at the senior citizen center that my grandmother went to every day. And so that was just proof that no matter your age or your state of ability, physical ability, that there is something that you can do to hopefully move and have some physical activity during the day. So encourage you all to take part in some physical activity during the day. So my 3 lessons learned from my deep thinking time and making these connections and getting really clear on my focus for my business were: one is to take the time to examine your why and then make sure that your daily activities are aligned with that why. 2 is to experiment and take some risks, try something new, document, and then adapt as you need to. And then number 3 is to take care of your mental and physical health. So those are my 3 lessons learned from this time. And I hope that you take those under advisement. And I'd love to hear what you are doing in order to thrive in business in this season. And now, as we think about what is going on with season 6, I think my guests for season 6 are going to be very helpful in taking those 3 steps or taking those pieces of advice and helping you put those into practice. My guests this season represent a diverse cross section of entrepreneurs. And through our conversations, I think you're going to gain tips on developing an abundance mindset, creating a business with purpose, balancing motherhood and business, prioritizing your health, digging into improving your processes, including how you can collect cash faster, because that is very important as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, that you actually collect the cash that you earn. And then finally, my very first guest of the season is going to talk to us about how you can build a business that is an asset and so that you can exit rich when you are ready to transition from your current business. So I'm very excited about the guests for season 6. And I want to hear from you all. What are you doing to thrive in business right now? What tips and insights you're getting from the podcast, and what guests are you really enjoying? I really want to hear from you. So you can connect with us on social media, or you can leave a comment wherever you listen to this podcast. I look forward to hearing from you, and I know you're going to enjoy season 6. So until next time, keep thriving.